of judges, co-debaters, timekeeper, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I rise to speak against the motion why the community reject the 3 new taxes. This statement may hold if it was advanced in the past centuries, but in these modern circumstances, it is as fallacious as it is outrageous. Mr. Chairman, the 3 new taxes include the Excise Duty Amendment Bill, the Community and the Sustainability Bill, and the Income Tax Amendment Bill. Mr. Chairman, the Excise Duty Amendment Bill is therefore a tax charged on goods produced within the country. For instance, the tobacco, the beverages, and the alcoholic drink consumption significantly contributed to the global epidemic of non-communicable diseases. Mr. Chairman, do you know the intake of tobacco has destroyed a lot of youth lives? With this, people may find it difficult to purchase this tax imposed on it. So therefore, it has minimized or reduced the rate or the amount of diseases in the country. Mr. Chairman, the growth in the sustainability bill is a tax imposed on a special levy to raise revenue for growth. This boosted the business sector's morale to even support this cause. Oh yes, I know you ask, how is that possible? With this tax being imposed, members in the country will come together to pay said taxes or being imposed on some special levies which will bring hope for a better future. Or we don't want our children to have a better future. Mr. Chairman, the Income Tax Amendment Bill, which is the 3rd bill amended to impose or to raise the taxes in the country. This is because as this tax was amended, some tax on goods were high. I don't know why the business should feel disrespect about this tax. Mr. Chairman, the tax generated by business or the government has used this income to build schools, roads. Do you know how this has really helped this country? Mr. Chairman, to end my speech, I will ask my opponent, with all these tangible points I have stated, why should the business sector go against it? The business sector shouldn't feel disrespect about these 3 taxes. And therefore, I urge you to agree these taxes. Thank you.
Chief Judge, honored jury, distinguished guests, all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name Duho Evelyn. As I stand before you here today to talk about the motion put before the House, that is, the House rejects the 3 new taxes passed by Parliament of Ghana. As I speak for the motion, the chair, I know my co-debater here will say the taxes were made for. I know my co-debater here. The chair, I know my co-debater here. Moving on. I know my co-debater here will raise issues of COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine invasion just to justify the need for the taxes. But is it not too sad to say this? Forgetting that country such as China, India, and US, who suffer so much from this COVID, have bounced back their economy. The question is, managing team. In fact, I want to ask my co-debater, what happened to what a solid team who were to take Ghana's economy to the promised land? Chief Judge, examining the tax under discussion, the growth and sustainability levy, who would affect one of Ghana's strong industries, the oil and gas industry, and this will be felt in the pockets of the citizen. From increase in forward to general goods, are we not feeling enough pressure since fuel prices increased so much this year? Already before these bills being passed, banks are struggling yet. These taxes seek to tax the banks again. I mean, how do we expect the banks to survive? How do we expect the banks to survive? The income tax amendment will mean more tax on individuals' income, which will be worrying for this ordinary Ghanaian. Is the government also not bothered by many protests from GUTA, the Chamber of Miners, and other associations on scrapping of this tax? Or I just have to assume that their hearts are as hardened as Pharaoh? The chair, looking at all this, do we have to accept these taxes? I know that these taxes are unnecessary and will have negative impact on the nation. So I will urge you all to support me to reject the taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Time for rebuttals now.
Mr. Chairman, what my opponent said here is very funny and laughable. She made mention of COVID-19. What has COVID-19 come to do with those taxes? When I was speaking, I said that the intake of tobacco, alcohol, and consumption are significant contributors to the global epidemic of non-communicable diseases. Do you know the intake of tobacco has really destroyed a lot of youth lives? With this, people find it difficult to purchase this. People find it difficult to purchase these goods, and therefore has reduced or minimized the disease in the country.
The chair, I heard my co-debater made mention of production. I know my co-debater here made mention of production. I remember the government in power was in opposition, told us Ghanaians that our votes are going to secure country moving away from taxation to production. So I asked, where is the production? Where is the production? Moving on, where is the production? Industrialization. Is it not sad that we live in country like Ghana where everything of us have been murdered, and we have the men as they say, the men we believe.
Please appreciate them. Shall we appreciate them? Wonderful. It is never easy. And so when they come up here to do their best, let's put our hands together one more time for them. Judges Evelyn and Kwakyewah are in your hands now.
Okay. You know, with this tonight's event, especially if you are against, you are expected to give more reasons, okay, to why you are against. And then the reasoning, aside the fact that it has to be fact, it's more like you need to be able to touch on our intelligence, give us some information that we've never thought of. So it's part of the things that personally I'm looking out for tonight's debate. It's not just about giving fact, okay, because fact also can be manipulated. So one of the things that I was hoping to get from you is being able to touch more also, because I get to realize that with the fact that you've written down one way or the other, especially with Evelyn, you were fumbling with it, probably because you're trying to memorize it. But then if you can also focus on being able to make whatever you're presenting more reasonable, okay? Knowing that it looks like trying to be more factual is a disadvantage for you based on your personal either interest or ability. I was hoping that you go more that, and then probably it could fetch you more marks. However, I think it's a very good attempt for both of you to have done what you did. Keep it up.
Right. Mrs. Yantechi, a few comments from you as well.
Like I told the previous couple, I'll say the same thing to you. It's a tough one, and you did the best you could. If you take away just like Jimmy has said, some of the facts, I didn't actually know whether you were actually feeling what you were presenting instead of just rattling it on as you have memorized them and given it to us, because I wanted to be able to be convinced by both of you, whether it doesn't matter what my view is, but then I needed that conviction from both of you that, okay, if I'm on this side, if I'm for the motion, are you convincing me? If I'm against the motion, are you convincing me enough to be able to maybe switch sides? But then because of the memorization that had come in so much, you were actually not feeling it for me to feel it along with you. So I think you should be more convinced of what you are debating on for me to also pull me along. But then on the whole, I think you did a great job. Yeah, the attempt was good.
Right. Thank you.